Hi, my name is Karen Beers, and along with my husband Dean, we are Associates in Forensic Investigations. This is our updated course on raising the standard for professional investigators. This has been updated from 1 hour of continuing education to 2.75 hours. This is for the new and experienced investigator. We will cover important foundation ethics, including why professional standards are essential, legal boundaries, documentation and compliance, best practices for contracts, communications, and transparency, accurate and objective reports, and evidentiary integrity, protecting client information and professional credibility, develop policies, operational performance, and standards, and much more.
First thing I want to talk about is the purpose of our professional standards and private investigation. One of the first things is protecting clients and the public interest. That is also the purpose for licensing and regulations in all the states and jurisdictions that do. And that was one of the things we stressed for Colorado licensing and other states that don't have licensing. So it's very important to protect our clients. For us, it's our attorney clients. Could be businesses, could be private individuals, whatever the case may be. And of course, the public interest. We don't want to do anything that jeopardizes the public or even other places within the public, such as businesses, general areas where activities have occurred, like a criminal offense case or a civil litigation case. So we need to be very proactive in that. The next thing is that we want to enhance the credibility, and we want to do this across the board in a consistent way so that all of us in our jurisdictions and our specialties and across the country and even around the world follow the same general credibility standards and professionalism. So welcome to the second chapter of our PI standards course. Here we're going to talk about professional investigators and how does that work. So the first thing, we need to understand our legal boundaries. Now I've been touching on all this in the first chapter. Let's talk a little bit more in detail. The first thing is to recognize our limited legal authority. Now specifically this, I'm talking about things that we are private entities, not law enforcement, not government agents or anything else. So we have to follow the law no matter what. Unless there's a specific exclusion or permissible purpose or what might be called affirmative defense, breaking the law, we're breaking the law. So if we have an affirmative defense for trespassing, such as the sewer court papers, maybe in a gated community, in a statute allows, but that's the affirmative defense versus somebody going through that gated community that's uninvited that has no purpose. So let's start with the importance of written agreements, contracts, letters of engagement, depending on what that is. And we'll talk a little bit about those here shortly. This is probably one of the key parts of standards. This tells your client what you're going to do. It tells you what you're obligated to do, what you're telling the client you will do and are capable of doing, and how that's going to culminate in the report, and also how that's going to begin with the retainer that you should be collecting to get started. So the first thing is, what is the purpose of these contracts? And I'll use contracts for anything that's some sort of written agreement. It's first to clarify what that client expects. They need to tell you everything that they want to get done. There may be some, so to speak, optional things, such as if you complete tasks A, B, C, and D, then contact us and we'll talk about continuing on to task E. Let's talk about your professional report standards. And we do have a course on report writing fundamentals for you. So this will just touch a little bit on that, but this is mostly what you will see that should be defined in your contract and that might be in other standards such as licensing standards. So the first thing is, let's talk about the purpose of your reports. Of course, they're very important. And reports, again, are any communication that you have, verbal or written, about the status, outcome, or progress of the case. Could be a formal written report, could be a memorandum, whatever the case may be. So the first thing is, it's to document your findings. And this is evidence. Your report is evidence unless it's a confidential work product memorandum. but it's evidence or is the potential for evidence. It's at least evidence to your attorney-client, because that is what they retained you for. And it may be evidence presented to a trier of fact, which could be a judge or jury, and opposing counsel. Your reports in a civil case are almost always disclosed to opposing counsel. And in criminal cases, depends on the state, if there's a reciprocity of discovery. Colorado, there is not, unless it's going to be used as part of testimony, impeachment, that type of thing. So let's talk about a little more of these ethical foundations. I've touched on these earlier, and as I mentioned, we have 2 courses focused on ethics. So the first area we want to talk about is your professional integrity. This is important because it demonstrates your truthfulness, your accuracy, your lack of deceit and dishonesty, things like that. So it's important to not just be truthful, but to be very consistent in your professional integrity. And then your objective judgment. You want to continually have consistent objective judgment as well in not only your investigative processes, but your policies and procedures, even your standards. So any decision-making process you have or something that aids in your decision-making process, you want to exercise good objective judgment and following the ethics that we have in our profession, as well as various associations, certifications, and also if you work for an attorney, under the attorney ethics and guidelines. So one of the first things I want to talk about is probably the most common that we need to think about in any business, and that is advertising and marketing. So what do the professional standards for our investigation say about this? And I've talked about this in our guide development course. The first thing about advertising and marketing is be truthful in advertising. Don't be deceitful. Indicate what you do, indicate how you do it in ways that would obviously be good marketing material. So for example, we conduct legal investigations and expert consultations in civil, criminal, and probate litigation for attorneys. And that's pretty much our marketing and advertising start, and we expand from there. I've seen investigators advertise that they travel internationally, and that would be to imply that they work internationally and might be licensed in other countries or things like that.
Number 2, 3, 2, 1. What we will cover in this course, and be sure to have your course PDF handout ready to follow along and take notes for the quizzes and exam. Foundations of Professional Investigator Standards, Legal Compliance and Professional Responsibilities, Client Relations and Contract Standards, Reporting, Documentation, and Record Keeping, Ethics, Confidentiality, and Conflicts of Interest, Operations, Professionalism, and Risk Management. Also included in your course PDF handout is a bonus section. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy this new course from us. Included in your course PDF handout is a bonus, Our Agency Standards, compiled from standards found in state licensing, associations, and certifications.
You can find more of our courses right here on this platform under your student profile, and you can also supplement your courses with any of our books. We have them at www.privateinvestigations.org. I have that link right here on the screen for you. You can go there and find out more about some of the resources we use and make available or have found. Make yourself easier, as well as ordering our books. Our books are discounted from when I used to buy them on Amazon, plus you get them direct from us, customized to you. Before I go, again, on behalf of Karen and myself, thank you very much. Here is our contact information, as well as things that we do in the private investigator expert consultation sector outside of our courses and books. So feel free to look us up, reach out to us if we can help you in any way. We certainly appreciate it. Again, thank you very much for taking the courses, and find more on this platform. So if you really like this course, we recommend looking into our other courses on this platform, including this one here. And don't forget, you can always find our digital interactive catalog at this web address. Thanks, and see you at the next course.